Wow. 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 That is the only one word with 3 letters that I'm going to use to describe what just happened. Kate Martin is a player that is serviceable. I'm not going to pretend like Kate Martin is not a serviceable player. I'm not going to pretend she's not serviceable. I'm not going to pretend she's a brilliant player either. She is a player that can come in, and give you 8 minutes a game, play hard on defense, shoot 40% from 3, and not really fuck up. And she can play 1 through 3. Basically, that's one of those things, is that she is completely serviceable. However, it is now a situation where they have waived her. The Valks have waived her. And I'll talk a little bit later about whether or not the Fever should sign her, because there is a debate there. Because I'm going to be honest, Walker Kimbrough is there for vibes. There's 12th spot. People are like, oh yeah, she's there to be a locker room presence. I don't know if there's a better vibes person than Kate Martin. I really don't. I really don't know if there's a better vibes person than Kate Martin. I want to see the backlash to Kate Martin from the Valkyries fans, because they currently employ Caitlin Chen. They currently employ the worst backup point guard in the league, by the way. Like, there's no reason why Caitlin Chen should be on this team and Kate Martin shouldn't. I'll just say that much. So, she had a good run. She joined Zinano, Gabby Marshall-Stulke, and Iowa fans overrated her Hall of Fame. It doesn't work both ways. It does not work both ways. If Iowa fans overrated all these players, then Caitlin Clark is the GOAT. If none of these are WNBA players, Caitlin Clark is the GOAT. She is the GOAT. She beat a team with 6 first-round picks, 5 first-round picks. Morrow, Angel, Van Lith, Michaela Williams, HVL. 5. She beat a team that had 5 first-round picks without another long-term WNBA player. It is mental. But is the right call. Let's hope she clears waivers. There is no way in hell Kay Martin's going to clear waivers. I think the Connecticut Sun are probably kicking themselves. They jumped the gun on Hailey Van Lith, because Kay Martin is better than Hailey Van Lith and sells more jerseys than Hailey Van Lith. She sells more jerseys and she's better. Let's not forget that. My head hurts. Ow. Kay Martin's finally cut. They have to keep Caitlin Chen and Amiher. Amiher is better than Kay Martin. I'll give you that much. Amiher is definitely better than Kay Martin. No question. I'm not out here pretending Kay Martin's better than Letitia Amiher. But you literally have sold. You've cut the biggest, the 4th biggest jersey seller in the WNBA, which is crazy. Who is, by the way, a serviceable backup, a completely serviceable backup. And I want to see who the Valkyries roster is right now. And I'm like, is there actually burn for Kate Martin? Okay, she's better than Caitlin Chen. You know what? As far as guard rotation and wing rotation is concerned, she's actually is the worst player. Second worst player outside of Caitlin Chen. So, not going to complain too much about this. She's not as good as Kayla Charles. She's not as good as Thornton. She's better than Soa. She's as good as Soa, but she's a dev player. And I don't think Kate Martin is going to be a dev player anywhere. And if she is going to be a dev player, let's be completely real. She's probably going to be a dev player playing with Caitlin Clark. She's probably going to be a dev player with the Fever. If it turns out that she clears, I think the Fever, if it turns out the Fever don't sign her on a dev contract and she signs with a team that's not the Valks and she signs with some random team on a dev contract, I'm just putting it out there, and the Fever sign Jessica Timmons on a dev contract instead, my feelings on this front office are well known. They are old WNBA. They act like it is the WNBA from before. They only care about their relationships with players. They believe that relationships is the best way to sign free agents and not competent scouting. They don't scout competently at all. They scouted one thing, which was the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, and they overpaid a player because they overpaid a bench vet because it has to becoming a starter. And yeah, Kate Martin being waived out of Valks is huge. I think a lot of Valks fans are going to be a little bit annoyed by that because, again, I'm going to be real here. This Valks team has gone from one of the most popular to unpopular teams in the WNBA over the course of an offseason. Like, with what they did to Flaw J, doing this, then cutting Marta Suarez, and not even giving Marta Suarez a dev spot. The GM making the worst trade, one of the worst, dumbest trades in history, and coming out and saying, I'm not answering questions, I'm tired. And then she comes out and says, I did it for cap flexibility, and why did you cut Marta Suarez? Oh, we didn't really understand the new CBA, which is why we cut her. So they wanted to sign her to a dev contract, didn't understand the CBA, and ended up having to cut her, and she chose to go somewhere else. So they missed out on her on a dev contract. They literally, once signed someone on a dev contract, didn't know what a dev contract was. They'd be on one of the most hated teams. Nothing emotionally, didn't think she was going to cut. She was on the line, but thought just enough to be safe. I'm going to be real here. Like, I do personally think that Kate Martin is significantly better than Caitlin Chen. She's bigger, she's stronger, she shoots the ball better. She doesn't run the show better, but like Caitlin Chen actually has, like, I don't know how many minutes Caitlin Chen's going to play because of Jacite. Like, Jacite, people call her a two guard, but she's a offense initiator. Like, she's a pick and roll ball handler. That's kind of what Jacite is. So yeah, this is a shock. And I'll discuss whether or not Kate Martin would be a good fit for the Fever. And to be completely real, I do think it can't really be summed up by saying saying that she's better than Walker Kimbrough, because she is better than Walker Kimbrough and she's friends with Caitlin Clark. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, where it's like, I'm not going to suggest signing her because she's friends with Caitlin, but still better than Walker Kimbrough. So yeah, that is pretty much it. There are a lot of teams that could do with a Kate Martin. The good old Phoenix Mercury have a roster spot right there for Kate Martin. The Aces, the fucking Aces might fuck about and get her back, Like, you never know. You just never know what teams are going to do. And I would be shocked if she's not on the roster this year.